conservatism to be the most natural political tendency, rooted in man's taste for the familiar, for family, and for faith in God. 20 years ago, these words appeared in the first issue of an upstart magazine. They speak to the heart of the conservative disposition, a desire to conserve the good, the true, the beautiful. One would think the new magazine that published those words would be warmly received by the conservative movement, but it wasn't. The cover that bound those words loudly proclaimed that this new magazine would not toe the party line. The American Conservative debuted to a conservative movement hurtling towards a regime change war in Iraq, with an inaugural issue whose cover was emblazoned with Iraq folly. The magazine, started by the intrepid trio of Scott McConnell, Pat Buchanan, and Taki, was mocked and panned. National Review called TAC's founders unpatriotic conservatives. The New Republic labeled the publication Buchanan's surefire flop. The Washington Post ridiculed the magazine launch as on a right wing and a player. From day one, TAC set out to take back the good name of conservatism from its impersonators. Our mission was broad: to reignite conversations conservatives should have had since the end of the Cold War, but didn't. We would challenge the GOP consensus that was heading for disastrous regime change wars in the Middle East. We would question the benefits and point to the pitfalls of the global free trade economy. We would free the immigration debate from the prison to which it was consigned and take seriously the challenge of assimilation. At the time, our authentic conservatism didn't win us many friends. The political environment in 2002 was dominated by fantasies of global hegemony, a hyper-global economy, and the hubristic notion of America as a universal nation. We may have been a gadfly of the right then, but now, 20 years later, we've been vindicated.
We spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake.
We're leading the conservative movement, and we're not nearly so alone.
Hey, Michael Knowles here. I just want to congratulate the American Conservative on 20 years of bringing an important perspective to the political conversation and to the conservative movement, of going back to really important kind of bedrock conservative values, things like restraint, things like supporting families, things like checking power in government, in corporations, and power wherever power exists, to come in and upend our traditional way of life. Just want to congratulate all of you and thank you for the terrific journalism over the years.
I want to congratulate the American Conservative magazine for their 20th anniversary. Great job done. Keep it up.
Congratulations to the American Conservative on 20 years of service to our republic. I'm so proud of what you've done, and what is really particularly important to me is to recognize that the great issues you have stood steadfastly for 20 years are now the governing principles of this country. And if the Republicans will continue to articulate the right message on trade, on immigration, on foreign wars, and defending America's interests first, if they do that effectively and intelligently, we can create a governing majority that will preserve this republic. Thank you for your service. God bless, and God bless America.
To the entire team at the American Conservative, happy 20th anniversary. Thank you so much for continuing to be a very necessary voice of truth during these challenging times, and being that bold voice of restraint and realism in our nation's foreign policy.
Congratulations on 20 years. The American Conservative has known what time it is in America for its entire history, and it's an instrumental voice on issues the everyday American cares about, like immigration, foreign policy, and trade. Heritage and I look forward to another 20 years challenging swapthink and reclaiming America.
Hey guys, JD Vance here. Just wanted to wish my friends at the American Conservative congratulations on 20 years. It's still one of the journals that I read regularly. It was my first place that I was published as a U.S. Senator-elect, and certainly it was the place that gave my book, Hillbilly Elegy, a massive launch. So here's to 20 more years of telling good stories, of starting arguments that need to be started, and of making sure the conservative movement stays true to who it is and to who its voters are. Thank you guys, and good luck to you.
I'd like to congratulate the American Conservative staff and their allies for a 20-year anniversary. The American Conservative has always been a must-read magazine for anyone who cares where their hard-earned tax dollars go, and who also believes in a constitutional foreign policy, people who oppose endless wars. Your magazine is a favorite of mine and also my staff. We have many copies in our front office. I want to thank you for kindly publishing many of our foreign policy op-eds. I'm sure I give your editors a run for their money. All the kidding aside, though, we do appreciate your cooperation. With a national debt that's exceeding 121% of our GDP, we got rampant inflation, not seen really since the 70s, and a significant supply chain problems, the U.S. must put the security of its economy first before assisting foreign states. So I want to thank you for being a leading voice from the very beginning and continuing to sound the alarm and holding the big spenders and war hawks accountable. Sorry I couldn't be there, but I look forward to continuing to work with the American Conservative and your team in the upcoming years. Thanks.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. Congratulations to the American Conservative on 20 years. Makes me feel old. I'll never forget coming back from Iraq in 2003 to Washington, having concluded that the Iraq War was a tragic mistake and feeling like the only person who felt that way, and calling the offices of the American Conservative that had been, I think, around for a year, maybe or so, and ordering all the back issues, because it was the only place that provided intellectual sustenance for me at the time, and I was grateful for it. I still read it. Congratulations.
Like our founders, our magazine was right from the beginning. Now, the future of the right is as open as it has been in decades. The right needs a forum to discuss and debate its future, a true magazine of ideas to provide the basis for a renewed conservative vision for America. That's the task TAC started 20 years ago, and it's the movement we will lead now. So I invite you to join us as a reader, a member, or a supporter. Your support ensures this special publication will thrive for the next 20 years and beyond.